Hi, welcome back to my channel. This is a sound off on the Real Housewives of Potomac, the reunion part 2. So the episode picks up where we left off last week with Mia trying to blame her mom's possible relapse on Candace. And she's like, I brought my mom because she wanted to tell her story. And Candace is like, it didn't seem like it. Mia, you brought your mom for a storyline. We see that's what you did. Like, you're not fooling anyone. But however, her and Candace are going back and forth, and she's like, she won't let me talk. But you kept chiming in when she was talking, and now that she's defending herself and trying to clear her good name, you're getting upset and you're getting flustered. She's like, you know what? Her ass kicking is long overdue. And so Candace is like, is she gonna whoop my ass? Are you gonna whoop my ass? And then Giselle is like, well, I hope not, because she's 3 times bigger than you. And Andy, as Mia is saying this, Andy is smirking. Andy, you should hope nobody puts hands on Candace again. Because if you do, Miss Dorothy is going to own all of y'all. Y'all playing a dangerous game. Andy, there's no reason you should be smirking because, like I said before, we watch the other shows and we know how it goes down. When Danielle snatched Margaret by her ponytail, when Danielle snatched Margaret by her raggedy ponytail, y'all got rid of Danielle with the quickness. There was no laughter, there was no smirks, it was nothing funny when Margaret got her ponytail yanked. Y'all weren't laughing about that. I don't know why y'all think it's funny that Mia's big ass want to jump on Candace. Karen even chimes in and she was like, I'm scared for you, Candace. I'm scared. Candace, are you talking to people like this on the street? This is the gaslighting that I just cannot do, okay? Because Karen, it was all good in the hood when Candace was using that same mouth to defend you. You loved her. You weren't telling Candace, girl, don't talk like that. They're going to beat your ass. You weren't doing that. So why now all of a sudden you like, oh, are you talking like that to people in the street? Candace is 34 years old. The only fight she's ever been in is the one with the bird lady. She knows how to conduct herself. She's not going around getting physical with people in the street. She ain't interacting with strangers the way she interacts with you. That was just so dumb, Karen. But anyways, she's like, I'm concerned for you because, you know, you told me to burn in eternal hell. You had the whole season to talk to Candace about the burn in eternal hell comment, and you did no such thing. Why are we bringing this up at the reunion? Girl, don't nobody care that she told you to go to hell. Did Candace say burn in eternal hell, or did Candace say go to hell? Because we know that the Grand Dame, she has grand lies. So Karen says, you know, me and Giselle, we've been doing this for 6 years, but we don't cut to the white meat. And so she's like, yes, you do. And Wendy jumps in and she was like, girl, you told the lady her coochie was on fire. What do you mean? And she was like, well, we do it with the slice of humor. Karen, at that nude interlude, girl, you was on 1,000. You were not, there was no humor. You were pissed. You were out of control. What do you mean you do it with humor? Andy says that a lot of the viewers have been asking about the body shaming remarks and why does she always do that? And he was like, yeah, Candace, I know you already said that everyone does it. Because everyone does it. Everyone does it. And Wendy was like, well, yeah, Ashley said that Mia's coochie was beat to a pulp, which she did. So Candace clocks the hypocrisy and she lets them know, like, look, everyone has done it. Ashley says Sharice has saggy titties. You talk about stovepipe legs. You talk about beat up vaginas. Everyone does it. So what are we talking here? And Ashley was like, well, you know what? I will say karma has come back. Now I'm the one with the titties that are sagging. And it's like, I guess. That annoyed me because it was just like, no, everybody's just sitting there. You guys all do it. Where is y'all's accountability to say, you know what? We should shut the hell up because we do it too. Why are we like, where is the awareness to say, oh, you know what? You're right. We're coming down on you, but we all do it. Andy turns to Wendy and was like, you know, where do you stand on this? She's your buddy. How do you feel? And Wendy is like, shoot, we all do it. The only difference is when Candace does it, she sticks her landing. And so Candace was like, should I miss? Should I not stick my landing? Like, what should I do? Should I try to spare people's feelings? No, you don't need to spare their feelings because they don't spare your feelings. No, they don't. Why should you spare their feelings? If they cared about their feelings, they would leave you alone. Karen says, you know, you don't have to spare our feelings because it's going to come a time where everyone just turns you out. And it's like pretty much you threatened to ice her out. How did that work last year? But she's threatening to ice Candace out if she don't change it because her words are abusive. And it's just like, Karen, that's really rich coming from you. Like, girl, what are you talking about? Giselle is like, you know, well, I've been here 6 years and it's time for you to go. But she's like, I've been here 6 years and there's never been an altercation. Candace is like, girl, you're not even a good example. Like, you should really chill. And she said, well, there's never been an altercation. She said, yeah, not with you, but you walked Robin into the Kangaroo restaurant and what happened? And they rolled the footage. Robin, girl, you be wanting to jump in for your girl's defense and you did not see that one coming, did you? And so she was like, you know what? When I saw Ashley, I just saw red. And Giselle's like, that didn't have nothing to do with me. And then Robin is like, well, that wasn't her fault. Y'all whack. You guys are hypocrites, okay? Candace got all the receipts for all of you. And y'all just sitting there like, dang, we didn't expect her to remember. Because what y'all are used to is Candace getting upset and y'all throw things at her and she can't respond to it because she gets emotional and she just curse y'all out, right? And y'all make her look bad. But my girl turned it around on y'all. She had something for every single thing y'all tried to throw at her. She had something for all of y'all. Y'all were all sitting up there looking like plum fools. Candace pretty much lets them know, like, look, you guys tried to hold me to a certain standard that you guys don't hold yourself. If anyone is unaware of themselves, it is you all. It is not me. I know what I'm saying and I know what I'm doing. And when I say I was proud of my girl, I was proud of my girl. Like she didn't get she was answering them. She was giving it to them. Quick wit, sassy, all the receipts, everything. So Robin was like, you don't think you take it too far? And it just goes on. Girl, who cares what you have to say? So Andy chimes in and he was like, well, it seems like they're trying to give you big sister advice. And Candace was like, well, to my big sisters, I was like, yeah, I'm good. I'm good on it. I hear you, but I'm good. They can't advise her on nothing. So Giselle's gonna chime in and she's like, you know, I just want you moving forward to just edit yourself. Why does she have to edit herself? I feel like they're all getting on my nerves. Like all of y'all shut up. Karen, you were running your mouth. You was going the fuck in on Giselle. You didn't edit yourself. You said that girl's coochie was on fire and there was no editing. It was rude as fuck. You said it. She said your husband's ding dong was broken. Like, you guys don't edit yourself. How is this girl saying your mother's a broke bitch? Your mother's low budget? How is that worse than telling somebody that coochie is on fire? Andy talks about how Candace and Mia made up and they had a good, nice talk on the boat on Wendy's trip. But once the show started airing, Mia started going apeshit on social media. She came for everybody. And now she is the disaster on Twitter. And that would be the truth. She all over the place. At least with Candace, that it made sense, like what was happening. With Mia just would just attack. She look a fool. Mia, I don't know if you cut out for this housewife life, but whatever, girl. So anyways, he's talking to her real gently, like, oh my gosh, you're getting into it with Chris Bassett. You're getting into it with everybody. What's going on, Mia? So Mia admits like, oh yeah, you know what? I am a bit of a disaster on Twitter and, you know, but I do own what I did. I'll own it. And then Karen is like, yeah, because, you know, she coached her, right? So she's like, yeah. And she's like, yeah, but I do have a social media manager and we're pretty much the same person because, you know, I've known her for like 20 years. You're the same person because she is you, you are her. You ain't got no damn social media manager. Your social media manager don't exist, just like Giselle's stylist don't exist. Stop lying. We ain't buying it. So as she's talking, Candace was like, you said my husband wanted to sleep with you, right? And Wendy's like, yeah, that's what she said. Everybody's husband wants to sleep with her because we're so intimidated by her. Because, you know, Mia, when she came on the scene, and see, when we say colorism, y'all get upset, but Mia came on the scene and she thought all the brown-skinned girls' husbands wanted her. I don't know why she thought that. So she's like, yeah, my social media manager, she has all my passwords and everything, but I stand by everything that I said. And so Wendy was like, so she wakes up at 7 a.m. in the morning to take digs at Ascala, and Ascala pulls out her stuff, and she's like, Andy, I just want to know why she's writing all these texts about Ascala. What's up with all these tweets about Ascala? Mia grabs the papers, and she's looking at them, and she's like, oh, and so Candace is like, girl, why you looking at them like you didn't know what's there? You wrote them tweets. You know what's in the tweets. Girl, don't do that. Andy's so fake. He gonna chime in and say, well, you know, for someone like you who's a busy woman. And so Wendy was like, She wrote them, because how would her social media manager know where Ascala lives, if she lives in a townhome? Only you would know that. Your social media manager would not know where Ascala lives. You wrote those tweets. Andy, fall back. You're not gonna save her from this one. And she was just like, well, I have a whole team. So Andy reads a question asking why Ascala called Mia classes, that they've only seen Ascala and Candace show classism, and what's wrong with being a stripper. I don't remember Ascala being classist towards Mia. I don't remember that. I remember Mia asking Ascala, how many businesses do you own, Ascala? And telling her, like, I don't remember her being classist. I don't even really remember Candace being classist towards her until she tried Candace, and then Candace had to let her know. Side note, we love strippers. We go up for the strippers, okay? Some of our favorite people are strippers. We love Lenithia. She was a stripper. We love Cardi B. She was a stripper. We love all the girls. We love the strippers. The only reason why Mia is getting clowned is because Mia's a liar. Don't nobody care if you was a stripper, girl. Like, we love strippers. We do not judge the strippers. We love them. A read is a read. Sometimes you get read. If she would have just owned it and said, yeah, girl, I did that, couldn't nobody really use it against her. So Candace and Ascala let her know, like, girl, you always talking about your money, how much money you got, as if it's your only, that's your personality, is that you got money. And so Andy chimes in and he was like, well, this is her first season. You know, I've seen this happen before. Andy, you and Giselle, y'all are not low. We see you. Y'all got y'all capes on for Mia, and I don't like it. I don't like it. Like, everybody else has to hold their own and answer their own questions. Why do you keep putting on your cape for Mia? This is like your third time. So they dismiss Ascala and they take a break. And it was like, even Mia was like, damn, y'all brought her here for 2 questions and then that's it. And it was like, why y'all do... I didn't appreciate that. Y'all put some respect on my African sister's name, okay? Y'all are not just gonna bring her out for them 2 little questions. She was there more than Ashley was. Y'all not about to play her like that. No. She been giving us good fashions. Y'all could have let her stay the rest of the show. So during the break, Giselle is turning to Candace and she was like, girl, you gotta take some ownership or something. And Candace was like, I really could have gone on 10. I didn't go on 10. And they're going back and forth. And those are the moments that I feel like Giselle uses to kind of mind fuck with Candace, because she does sound like, in those private moments and those little moments, it really does seem like she has Candace's back, like she really cares about Candace. But then you throw her under the bus. It's like, what kind of abusive relationship is this? One minute you're patting her on the back and you love her. You're giving her piggyback rides. And then the next minute you're throwing her under the bus for Ashley. It's like, I couldn't be friends with Giselle. I could not be friends with Giselle. But anyways, as they're walking out, Ashley is all concerned for Mia. And she's like, Mia, are you okay? Oh, back in their hotel room, Wendy goes to check on Candace and she's like, girl, you know I got your back, girl, but you know, your mouth, you be hurting people's feelings. She was like, your gutter is everyone else's hell. And Candace was like, yeah, I'm a bitch. But you know, if you leave me alone, we won't have that problem. And I agree with Candace. Leave her alone. You guys are not equipped to handle her mouth. And she don't bother y'all. She be sitting there minding her business and you go looking for a problem with her. Then when she back you up off of her, then it's like, oh my God. I don't understand. Y'all like it at this point, because why do y'all keep messing with her? Well, they roll the Karen and Giselle montage with the two of them going back and forth. And he says, let's start with Giselle's hot box. And Karen admits that she saw it on the blogs. We know that because you friends with them. You and the bird lady are friends with them. You're not low. We know what's going on with it. We know the tea, okay? Robin chimes in and said, this is the same blog that talks about Wendy's husband. And then they were like, yeah, they talk about everybody. And then Wendy was like, but I guess we're supposed to ignore them, huh? And Robin is so annoyed. Like, Robin says, when they talked about Giselle, she just brushed it off and didn't care. And Wendy was like, yeah, girl. And weren't you the same one that said earlier that everyone doesn't react the same? We can't police how everyone reacts. And she was like, yeah, because Wendy got you. She hung you with your own rope, girl. She got you. So Karen apologizes to Hampton University, but she's not sorry for calling Giselle a broken whore because she said that was the word on the street. So Giselle calls Karen out about the whole wishing death on Ray comment from season 2. And Karen is still trying to act like she don't understand what the hell Giselle meant. And this is the stuff that I don't like. I wish they would have rolled the footage of season 1, episode 1, when Karen said she would be dead and buried before Giselle takes over Potomac. Karen told Ashley that Schmeagle might not be alive in 20 years. She's still trying to sit up there and act like she don't understand what Giselle meant when she said Ray will be dead and gone before I lose my looks. She did not wish death on your husband. So Giselle has to like talk to her like she is a second grader. And she was like, you know what? If Raven heard me say this and she had a problem, why didn't you just tell me this? Season 3, season 4, season 5. You wait till season 6 to tell me? And she was like, well, my daughter was young at the time and she was uncomfortable and she just didn't like you. So I didn't want to say nothing. She didn't want me to say anything. But now I feel comfortable. Karen is talking nonsense. You know what the lady meant. You didn't have to like the comment. You could easily say to her, I didn't appreciate that and I don't like it. But she did not wish death on your husband. Let's keep it a stack. You ain't had nothing really talk about this season. So you reach back in season 2 to make yourself relevant. Just like you reached back and talked about how Candace told you to burn in eternal hell. It's your Karen antics, and we tired of them. Andy reads a question asking Wendy if she feels that Giselle was being hypocritical, wanting an apology from Karen about the Jamal rumors when she was going around spreading rumors about Eddie. And Giselle is like, I didn't spread no rumors. So this is the moment that Wendy has been waiting for because she's been wanting Giselle's head all night. And so she's like, you know, you want an apology from Karen, but Karen was speaking facts. You were telling lies about my husband, and Giselle is she's trying her hardest to keep up with Wendy. And she was like, I didn't spread rumors. I didn't do this. I didn't do that. And Wendy was like, boo, boo. You went to everyone but me to talk about these rumors. And she's like, and I have children who can read. So what's good? And Giselle was like, I too have children, and you looked at my daughter cockeyed. Now time out. Wendy, you did that shit. Because I saw it too. And I didn't too much like it. When they were at the Reasonably Shady party, you absolutely did look at that little girl rude. And not only did you look at her rude, you also said in front of the girl how, get me up out of here before I become miserable like Giselle. I ain't like that. And then not only did you do that, even in the after show, when Candace was explaining the story about how Grace came to drive her car and move the car or whatever, you was looking stank the whole time Candace was talking about that little girl. You did those things. Now, maybe you have RBF like myself. I do not know. But what you did know is that the little girl was in the vicinity when you was talking crap about her mom. And that was not right. You did that shit. Wendy offers an apology. And she was like, make sure you apologize to my 2 sons when it comes back around to you. So Giselle is like, in fact, I didn't do anything wrong. In fact, I was defending their father. And she's like, you ain't defend shit. Girl, shut up. You're a liar. And I'm coming for you, girl. You can't get out of this. You gonna get this today. So the next question is for Karen. And they're like, how do we know you're not a liar when you admitted that you made up Sing Sing? And she was like, well, I made up Sing Sing because I liked how it sounded. And it was like, Karen, you just look foolish as hell at this reunion. Girl, what is going on? But she's like, I made it up. So Andy's like, oh, you like the alliteration. And it's amazing how that's so amusing to everyone that this lady is sitting up here lying and making up stuff. But let it be Candace. And they're going to want to give her a spanking. And so she was like, well, I liked how it sounded, you know, and she's talking her nonsense. And Robin chimes in and was like, you also called her a drug addict. And Karen's getting ready to lie some more. And then she was like, I said, what? Oh, yeah, And I think she realized, like, oop, you know, they're going to roll the footage. Let me just own my shit. She was like, well, yeah, I said it, you know. You said she was a drug addict. She went to a mental institution. And it was just like, girl. So all of those was lies? Karen is like, yeah, you know, I said it all. I said it all. Yeah, her stovepipe legs. She's an alcoholic. She's swelling and da-da-da-da-da. And Candace was like, those are fighting words. And then Giselle gonna say, well, do you understand that we were across the table from each other? Candace was on the other side of the table too. And Monique reached over and grabbed her. So are you saying that Candace should talk shit if the table width is more? If there was more width to the table, then Candace would have been within her right. Like, girl, what is you saying? What are we saying here? Y'all just keep moving the goalposts. It's okay to say this and it's not okay to say this. Oh no, you can say it on Tuesday, but you can't say it on Friday. Does Andy call out the hypocrisy? No, he does not. He doesn't say, well, you know, you guys are doing the exact same thing that you're saying Candace is doing. He doesn't say that. No, he says, well, I will say it was fun seeing you guys get back together. This is what we're talking about. This is it right here. The double standards. So they start talking about how, you know, you explained to her what teabagging was. You guys are back cool, whatever. And Giselle was like, yeah, you know, I appreciated that she came to my house with a gift she gave everybody. Everybody got that gift. But okay. And she greeted my daughters and she jumped up and gave them a hug. And that meant everything to me. That meant that the friendship was real. And of course, that's a little bit of a dig to Wendy. I gotta let Giselle have that one for sure. But girl, I think it's cute too. Like, right, you know, you should never involve the kiddos in your foolishness. Like, they're innocent. Leave them out of the drama. I will say one thing about Karen that I do like is Karen does love the children. Like, I remember season 2, wasn't she like planting flowers and plants with the kids? So she does love the kids. And then we know that the children are her soft spot. She loves the children. I mean, I guess that was a really cute moment, but I didn't understand why Giselle was crying. And then they were like, oh, we never seen you get emotional before. Yes, we have. We saw her get emotional behind Sherman. Like, this is the reason why Giselle is coming for everybody in their relationship, because y'all cost her relationship with Sherman. She ain't never gonna forget that. She cried the day of Candace's wedding when Sherman stood her up. And then she cried, I think, back in season 3 when she was getting her hair done. And her mom was putting pressure on her to buy her a new home. And she was like, she had to talk to Sherman, but her and Sherman weren't in a good space at the moment. And she went off and she was crying. And we done seen her cry. We have. And I'm not mad at her for, you know, they did cost her relationship. But your attention should be solely on Karen and, what's her name? On Karen, Sharice, and the Bird Lady. Everybody else's relationship, leave them alone. Because they didn't do nothing to you. Giselle and Karen, they hug it out. And everybody was like, thank God. Because we tired of y'all. And I wonder how Wendy is feeling. Like, Wendy, do you feel foolish? So they wrote Ashley's package. And they're showing her journey and everything with, you know, the new baby and Michael and whatever. Andy's asking her all the questions. How's the babies? How old are they? You know, all the questions. And he's like, it seems like you did okay as far as postpartum this time around. Was it because of the placenta? What was it? And she was like, oh, well, you know, I had to be present for Dean. She had to let us know that Dean now looks like her. So Andy asks her, you know, hey, what's this about Michael Darby wanting to be a movie producer? It sounds like a bad idea. What's going on? So Wendy's like, well, what kind of movies? Hey, the viewers think it's porn. And she's just like, of course, oh yeah, you guys, I never thought about that. Ashley, you know that's what everybody thought. You still ain't told us what kind of movies they are. You ain't told us what kind of movies he want to make. So we gonna run with this that it might be porn. So viewer asks Candace, hey, why do you relish in being so nasty to Ashley? And she's like, cause she was nasty to me. And then Giselle chimes in, of course, cause she's part of the Paper Bag Protective. And she's like, you know, I had a problem with you calling her wide body. And she was like, girl, whatever. Here comes Robin with the assist. And Robin is like, well, you know, Candace, you know exactly what to say to make it hurt. And Candace is just like, next question. So Andy asked a question, you know, Ashley, you say Candace is body shaming you, but your husband was doing the same thing in the car. What's good? And of course, she's irritated by Candace. And she was like, well, you know, Candace was purposely trying to hurt my feelings. And my thing is like, girl, you should care more about what your husband thinks about your body than what Candace thinks. Because Candace is not laying, you don't go to bed with Candace. What do you care? You don't even like Candace. What do you care what she thinks about your body? Of course, Ashley has to give a political answer, you know, because they're better than ever, you know. And she's like, well, me and my husband bonded on working out. We work out together. Just say the truth. Tell the truth, Ashley. Your husband already hurt your feelings. You was already feeling some type of way because he was critiquing your body. So when Candace said you was wide, it hurt even more. Just tell the truth. Because we saw it. Another viewer asked, why is Candace so obsessed with Ashley's breast milk? And she was not the only person that mentioned something about her breast milk, because remember on the trip to the Chesapeake Bay, Wendy and Robin was talking about Ashley and her nipples and why she was pumping in front of everybody. They all had something to say. It wasn't just Candace, but y'all only remember when Candace does something, huh? Because I remember. But however, Candace answers the question and she was like, oh my God, yes, I'm so jealous. I'm so jealous. So jealous of her becoming a mom before me. And then she bust like a bitch. That shit was hilarious. Because I knew she was on some bullshit. I knew Candace was not really about to cry. But she did so good that she almost had me. Wendy and Mia both bust out laughing. Karen looking over at Giselle. Giselle was like, even Andy was looking like, what the fuck? And so Ashley was like, well, you know, one day when it's her turn, she'll apologize to me. Girl, ain't nobody apologizing to you for shit. You ain't apologized to everybody for all the crap you pulled seasons 1, 2, 3, and 4. Girl, shut up. Her mentioning your breast milk, what was the big deal? It's not like she was like, ew, you're nasty. Well, she did call you a filthy milkmaid. That was kind of funny, though. That was a little funny. She did call you a filthy milk. But girl, you got on her nerves. You said stuff to her too. So Ashley's like, she'll be apologizing. And Candace is like, no, I will not be. You know, I'm a black woman and she made fun of my natural black girl hair. And I can't talk about that, but she want me to care about her wide body girl bye. They roll the clip of Ashley saying, girl, I talk about your dry hair sitting on top of your head looking like hay all the time. And then Candace says, should I be offended by that? Ashley tries to clean it up and say, yeah, we black girls, we have dry hair. She said, you have a privilege. There's no we here. Stop speaking French. You have a different curl pattern than me. You have a privilege. And so she was like, you know what? We need to address this colorism right now. Because I be seeing online where people be going under Ashley's comments, calling her a colorist. And she don't like that. But then maybe she should stop participating in colorism. I don't know. It's just a thought. Wendy's like, since you brought it up, do you think that colorism exists? And she says, yeah, I believe it exists. I've never said it doesn't. So do you think it's in the group? No, I don't think it's in the group. So how do you think it exists, but it's not present in the group? And she was like, well, I've never seen demonstrations of it. But to me, that's not even what you should say. It keeps coming up. You should be trying to understand why your castmates feel that way. Because if you're so against it and you don't want it in the group, why aren't you trying to have a conversation with your castmates and say, let's nip this in the bud. Let's really get to the bottom of it. But your unwillingness to do so is very telling. Because you know that it exists, and because it might not be blatant, maybe it's in microaggressions, maybe it's in coded languages, it's subtle to you, it's not in your face, you are comfortable with it because you know that you benefit from it. And you don't want to stop your benefit. You don't want to give up your privilege of it. So you're going to turn a blind eye. You're going to shut your mouth and you're going to keep it moving. Because that's what y'all do. But there is definitely colorism in that group. Colorism holds a champagne flute on Real Housewives of Potomac. And always has. So Ashley brings up the slave comment. And again, we are in season 6, but you're reaching back to season 4 to have something to talk about. Giselle is like, you called her a slave, Candace? You said that? She's like, I didn't call her that. I never called her that. I did not say that. And then Robin is like, yeah, you said it at that second dinner. Robin, girl, you want to recall things that happened, but you don't recall it right. Candace apologized for these tweets profusely last year. You accepted the apology. You bringing it up again for why? She never called you a slave. She called him an overseer. You called her a house daughter. You started with the name calling. Candace is like, girl, bye. Like, earn your check another way. This is old as fuck. You're bringing up shit from 2 years ago just so that you have something to talk about. And it's like, it's pathetic. Girl, earn your check another way. Your husband called my husband white trash. Ashley decides because they're 2 white men, it cancels each other out. That shouldn't even be a topic. But she implied that you might possibly be a slave. And she's black, but I guess you're not black because you let us know that you're biracial. So I guess it's something wrong with a black woman saying it to a biracial woman. Would it be right if you guys were 2 biracial women or 2 black women? I don't understand Ashley's logic. Candace lets Ashley know, like, girl, you've done foul stuff to me. So, girl, bye. And they're like, what did I do? And Andy was like, you wrote the statement for Monique. Oh, well, that was nothing. Girl, bye. Stop lying. You wrote the statement. You thought Birdie would be here and Birdie ain't here. And you got to live with that. Y'all not going to be cool. And so Andy was like, well, we saw y'all out together in New York. Yeah, they're going to play nice because it was an industry event. That don't mean that they're going to be cool. The music was loud. There was probably no conversation. She was talking to this one. He was talking over there. That's it. A lot of people were like mad about Candace hanging out with Giselle and Ashley when they were in LA. But if you look at the pictures, one of their bosses was there. There were other Bravo celebrities there. They're the guy from Daily Pop. They were coexisting at a work event. That's what it looked like to me. But Ashley is never going to like Candace. And I don't know that Candace is ever going to forgive Ashley for what she did. So they might make peace. I don't know. I don't want to see it though. I really don't. I don't want to see that. And I don't think Schmeagol is ever going to like Candace and Chris. He's just not. He don't see it for y'all. He didn't let y'all know how he feels. So I must be crazy because I hear Robin say, Robin and Giselle are like, well, she didn't mean to hurt you. And Robin is like, yeah, you know, at this point she says she's regretted it. I ain't hear that. I didn't hear that come out of Ashley's mouth that she regret writing a statement. I didn't hear that. I went back and watched it twice. I still didn't hear Ashley say, I regret doing that, girl. I'm so sorry. I must have missed that. That must have happened and Bravo dissolved the footages because I didn't see that happen. They rolled the package for Zen Wen, and we all know that Wen was not Zen. So viewer wants to know about Wendy's plastic surgeries, and she explains she got a BBL and she got a breast lift and some implants. She looks good. She looks real good. And she was like, yes, I did all of those things, but ladies, research your doctor. Listen to Dr. Wendy. Giselle and Robin, Wendy looks good. What was y'all problem with her surgeries? And Robin was like, I thought she looked great. I'm just talking about the change in her personality. So Wendy says if Robin would have just come to her and had the conversation, they would have been able to do that. But she never gave her the opportunity. Robin feels like she did give her the opportunity when they got to Williamsburg, but you called her loose after your homegirl called her no substance Wendy. That kind of messed everything up. I personally don't have a problem with Hot Girl Wendy. I like Hot Girl Wen. I like her. I just had a problem with Wendy acting dumb and vulnerable and being up under Karen's wing. I did not like that. I ain't like that at all because you was the main one telling Candace she is not your friend. You tricked Candace out of her spot with Karen and you took the vacancy. And that's a little, I don't like that, Wendy. I do think that Robin dropped the ball. Like if you really cared about your friend and you felt like, oh, she's acting different, I gotta figure out what's good with her. Y'all shot several one-on-one scenes. Or y'all was around each other. You could have been like, girl, what's good? You didn't have to piggyback when Giselle got on her because your friendship with Wendy was independent of Giselle's friendship with Wendy. They are sorors. They had their own connection, but you and Wendy had your own connection as well. If you really wanted to get to the bottom of why she was acting different, then you should have just addressed her. So Robin feels like, you know what? I didn't care about your shirt, about your surgeries. I just wanted to know why you were acting different. I even went to Candace and I was like, yo, our girl is acting different. What's good? And Candace can confirm that, yeah, she was concerned. It wasn't what Giselle made it be. But you know what? Giselle got into the mix and it got dirty. It got messy. So Wendy lets y'all know that her reads are not rehearsed. She can go against the White House press secretary that Giselle and Robin, she don't need to rehearse no reads for them girls. And I was like, that was a cute look, girl. You said that. That was cute. We don't believe you, but that was cute. So we get into these candle wars, right? And Andy was like, you know, Karen withheld the information that she was about to do candles after she sat up there and listened to you talk about your candles. I don't know, because Karen she's a slick one, that Karen. We did see the footage, I think it was season 3 when they were at the Women's Expo or so. And Karen said that she did want to do candles. It's definitely something that Karen wanted to do, but Karen claims like, yeah, everybody knew that's what I was going to do next. That's not really true because number one, Wendy wasn't around season 3. So Wendy wasn't there for that announcement. She didn't know that's what you were doing next. That's number one. Number two, you were supposed to do a lot of stuff that you ain't do. So no one knows the sequence of your moves. You don't really tell people and you don't really have to. I don't feel like she needed to tell Wendy. It was just a little weird because you listened to her business plan, what type of candle she had. You saw her prototype, but you didn't even say, well, girl, you know I'm working on something similar. That's all that really needed to be said. You didn't have to tell her everything. But you know what? That's Karen. That's how you do. So Andy was like, well, you know, you shaded her on my show. So what was up with that? And, you know, she's trying to walk it back now. And it's like, girl, stop it. You know what you did. You know what you were shading Wendy. But you don't want Wendy to give you that venom that she's giving to Giselle. So you're trying to keep it cute because you want to keep your ally. We see you. You not low. So Andy's like, you know, Mia, you want shady little somebody because that's real petty of you to also release a candle before Wendy got her candle out. But girl, we ain't hear nothing about your candle. I don't know one person who purchased your candle. So I don't know, girl. Girl, you did that for stunts and shows. But anyways, Wendy is like, yeah, all of that is cute. That's all child's play because On Ye Home Essentials is releasing a 5-wick and a 7-wick candle. So she ain't worried about the 1 wicks no more or the 3 wicks. Because from what the people say, you sold out in 2 days. So girl, okay. Make sure them candles smell nice, girl. So they rolled a clip of Wendy and Eddie and then how Giselle was going around trying to get this ball rolling. After they played the Eddie cheating package, Andy's like, who all heard about this rumor? Candace was like, I ain't never hear about it. Karen said she heard. Giselle, Robin, they all heard. And it was like, oh, well, it came from a non-credible blog. And so nobody believed it. So Wendy is like, girl, 100 people probably saw that blog. This show is watched by millions. And you brought this on the show. So Andy was like, okay, I get where you're coming from. She brought it on the show. Giselle, you need to answer this question. And Giselle was like, I wanted to see if Wendy was okay because I know how, social media can be. He said, but why you bring it on the show? Well, it wasn't like I just said it and I left it. I always said that I knew it wasn't true. And Wendy was like, bitch. You said it wasn't true, and then in the very next breath, you said, I wonder is that why she got her plastic surgery? So if you're trying to say, I got this plastic surgery to keep my cheating man, why would you say that? When you had a tummy tuck, did you keep Jamal? I was kind of on Giselle's side at first, right? Why would you think that they're not going to bring that up, Wendy? You should know that they're going to bring that up. You're on reality TV. This is what you signed up for. So I was kind of on Giselle's side because when they were talking about Schmeagle last season, you partook in the talking. You said stuff about it in your confessionals. You asked Ashley questions. Would you leave him? You did that. So for them to talk about your situation, you shouldn't have been that upset. But then when I really think about it, if Giselle had just come straight to Wendy and said, girl, this is what they saying, what's good? And then and Wendy still behave a certain way, okay. But you fixed that thing up in a way to say that she had her plastic surgeries because her man might be cheating. And he might. Like, we don't know. As soon as you start to believe these men and go up for these men, they embarrass you. So, Eddie, I hope you don't embarrass us. But it doesn't even really matter, right? Whether he's doing it or he's not doing it. You brought that rumor to the show because you needed a storyline. So you attached yourself to Wendy and you thought you could do to Wendy what you have done to everyone else. Because you did it to Candace. You threw out there, oh, is Chris getting paid? How is Chris getting paid? And then Mia picked it up. And now Candace is mad at Mia when Mia goes and asks Miss Dottie. So you thought you was going to get Ashley to ask the question. Wendy is going to be mad at everybody but you. See, but Wendy clocked you. Wendy was like, oh, no. You ain't going to get away with it this time. So at first I was a little mad at Wendy, but I'm going to be here for next episode. I hope Wendy wraps you up like a sub sandwich because you are deserving of so. You did not want to discuss amongst the group your details with Jamal. When a scholar asked you at the dinner, what was the tea on you when, do you have a man? What's going on, girl? He was like, I'm not going to discuss it with the group. So you were out of line to try to put Wendy on blast. When Wendy wraps you up, I'm going to be here for it. I was on your side, but then when I really look back at all the little sneaky stuff that you did, it's like, it's not cool, Giselle. How long you going to be doing this, Giselle? You've been at this for, what, 6 seasons, Giselle? How long do you think that you can continue to terrorize your castmates, jump on their storylines, be in their business, setting them up, telling them what to do? You're going to be a ghost producer. How long you think this is going to work? If no one wants to share their story with you next season, Giselle, what you going to do? Mia said, I think 2 days ago, she released that she did not really want to go to the reunion and she almost skipped it. I believe her. Now, Mia lies, but I do believe Mia. I don't know that Mia's cut out to be a housewife. Mia looked terrified on that stage, having to answer for her foolishness that she created. It was annoying me how Andy and Giselle kept jumping in to save her. Girl, if you was in Atlanta and some of them other cities, girl, they would have ate you up. But anyways, that's my sound off. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.